Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. We are live. I know I'm live right here from the beautiful, beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we are rejoicing and we are glad in it. If you are coming on, joining me live, please do me a quick favor. I need you to hit that like button. I need you to hit that share button. I need you to tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know your boy, Ramon, not my squad. They might be lurking, but I am live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. Today is Saturday, January the 21st, 2023. And it is approximately 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I don't know where you are in the world, but I appreciate you joining me today. I need you to hit the like button, hit the share button, and if you would be so kind, let me know where you're watching us from today. What city, what state, I don't know what planet you're watching me from. Who you representing? Please let me know who you're representing. Put it in the comments and let me know. For those of you that are coming on, I want to say thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you. This is actually week 3 of our 12-week or 90-day $1,000 challenge. I'll give you a little bit of backdrop for this $1,000 challenge, just in case you don't know. At the beginning of the year, my team and I, we decided that we wanted to incorporate and initiate some type of challenge, some type of initiative to give you, the viewer, and to give our community members an opportunity to really come together to create some solidarity and some sense of community, especially at the beginning of the year, because so many people have so many dreams and desires, so many aspirations and ambitions to do certain things. And I thought that it would be good for us to incorporate a $1,000 challenge. And the basis of this challenge is for you to save at least $1,000 within the first 90 days of the year. Of course, if it's a different time of the year and you're watching this video, you can use it at any time of the year and for any 90-day window. But there's a lot of statistics, there's a lot of studies and a lot of research behind the idea of doing something consistently for 90 days. And so this is week 3. This is week 3 of our 90-day, 12-week challenge. Remember, 90 days is 12 weeks. And so every week I've done as best of a job as I could to show up here live and to at least take some time out to do a check-in, to make sure that everyone who's participating in the challenge is tracking me every week. And if you're just coming on and just getting introduced to the challenge, feel free to go to Ramonepreston.com/90. Ramonepreston.com/90. Again, Ramonepreston.com/90. There you can join our 90-day challenge. You'll get access to some welcome and instructional videos. You also get access to my free millionaire guide. It's a 5-step guide that I use to teach my students and clients in our millionaire blueprint, but I wanted to give everyone who signed up access to it for free. So you can go to Ramonepreston.com/90. And please put in the comments right now what city you're watching me from. I see a few people coming on. Carrie, good afternoon. Kelly, daughter, Valicia, Danielle, y'all, she said, we reached our goal for this month already. We went a little over the 333 monthly goal for the challenge, but you saved the 333. So congratulations to you, Danielle, you and your husband, Ernest, for already reaching your goal. And it's only the 21st day of the year. So congratulations to you. For those of you that might have not done the math on what your monthly goal should be. Carrie said she reached her first month goal as well. Congratulations to both of you. Wow, that is amazing. So remember, if your 90-day goal is to save $1,000, then that would mean your monthly goal is $333. And I think we said your weekly goal is $83. So we already have 2 people showing up today saying, I have already put aside my $333. So congratulations. I know it's a good feeling. I know it's a good feeling. I know it's an amazing experience to have, knowing that you made a commitment to be a part of something and you are following through with that commitment. Because remember, the first few weeks of this challenge are really the most important weeks in the challenge, because it's about you building a muscle. It's about you becoming more disciplined. It's about you hitting certain milestones, not just you trying to crush it in week 1. So I'm super, super proud of all of you. So congratulations to those of you that have already set aside your first month's number, which should be around 333. And again, you might have different numbers, and whatever the number is or whatever the financial goal is that you have to save, just make sure that you are staying consistent with saving it. All right. So I want to say again, thank you. Congratulations to all of you that are tracking the 90-day challenge. If this is your first time coming on and you don't even know what the challenge is, all you need to do is go to Ramonepreston.com/90, and there you could get all the information you need about our 90-day challenge. Now, one of the reasons why I'm still here, ladies and gentlemen, in my studio is because I hosted a VIP financial workshop today. So every quarter I host a workshop for everyone in my mentorship program. So we host one workshop a quarter. We host a sales workshop, marketing workshop, financial workshop, and a holding company workshop. And so this month, I wanted to start the year out with my mentees by hosting a financial workshop. One of the reasons why I wanted to host a financial workshop for the first one this year is because there's a lot going on in the economy. Now, even though some people are denying that we are in a recession, all the writing is on the wall, okay? The writing is on the wall, y'all. If you ain't reading the writing on the wall, if you ain't listening to the news, if you ain't paying attention to something, whether you watch the news or not, it's clear that we are in a recession. It's clear that we have recession-ish activities that are going on, okay? So even if we're not in a full-fledged recession, we are in a recessionist environment where a lot of things that are going on looks recessionist. So whether we are in a recession or not, what's most important is your own personal economy. What exactly are you doing in your own personal or maybe your professional and financial life to change the trajectory of your economic situation? And so again, if you are participating in this 90-day $1,000 challenge, that gives you an opportunity to create milestones, to reach milestones, to build a money muscle, to learn how to delay gratification. Karen just came on. I see in the chat, Karen said, I have reached my 90-day goal and I'm working on a stretch goal. Man, y'all give Karen some love. Karen said she has already reached her wow. She has reached her $1,000. That was her goal initially, and now she is stretching. She is stretching her goals to go beyond $1,000. So congratulations to you, Karen. That is absolutely amazing. Keep pushing, keep pressing. imagine if you can do that within the first 21 days of this year, how much more can you get accomplished in the next we have 90 days in the first quarter, so 90 minus 21, we're talking about 69. You still got 69 more days. So that's awesome. Okay, so anyway, like I was saying, economists are saying we're in a recession, okay? And if in fact we're in a recession, or if we're not in a recession, the bottom line is this: your economy is going to be dependent upon what you do, all right? It's going to be dependent upon what you do. And based on the studies and the surveys and the statistics that are coming out right now, it is projected that within the next 3 years, the number of millionaires will double. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to initiate this 90-day challenge. And this is one of the reasons why I push so hard to educate my people on financial literacy, on entrepreneurship, on business ownership, on legacy wealth building. Because I believe if you could put yourself in a position like you have, at least being a part of this 90-day challenge, it can really help set the pace and the trajectory for where you're going. And so just in case you missed the first 2 weeks of these 3 weeks that we have been tracking this 12-week 90-day challenge, in week 1, I gave you some creative cash flow strategies, because remember, your cash flow is king. Okay, always remember that your cash flow is king. And I tell you, I wish everyone in my community could have participated in the workshop that I hosted today. It was a 1-day workshop. I literally taught for at least 4 or 5 hours straight. And I mean, I gave a lot of information out on financial literacy, on accounting, balance sheets, net worth, cash flow, how to evaluate your business. Like we talked about creative tax strategies, QuickBooks, financial systems. I mean, this information is the difference between you staying where you at financially and becoming a millionaire. I know it is, because this is the same information that I use. So cash flow is king. Cash flow is king. Week 1, we talked about some creative cash flow strategies. So if you remember, I shared with you some strategies that you can immediately implement and execute in your life to create cash flow. That was the purpose of me teaching that lesson a couple weeks ago. Last week, I talked to you about how to create a cash flow cycle, because a cash flow cycle is really something that you create that keeps your money moving. That's why we call it cash flow, because it is your cash being positioned to get in a flow so that it can start producing some return. It can start producing some results. And so let's just assume you're 3 weeks into this 12-week 90-day challenge. Let's just assume you are learning more about money. You are staying in touch and in tune with the things that I'm teaching you and that I'm sharing with you. You are putting a solid financial plan in place. And let's just assume your income is going up a little bit and you're stabilizing your expenses enough so that you can start putting a little bit of money away. Because remember, when you have your income and you minus your expenses, you are left with this thing called cash flow. Okay, so I want you to remember that when you have your income and you minus your expenses, you're going to be left with cash flow. And so what you do with this cash flow is going to have a lot to determine the financial trajectory of your future. Okay, and this is why this challenge plays a very, very important role. So let's just assume at this point you are at least starting to dial in on strategies and practices that help you create new ways to make income. You are stabilizing your expenses. You might even be minimizing your expenses enough to create this spread to have some cash flow. Now, the next most important thing for you to do is to protect your cash flow. You have to protect your cash flow. Why? Because your cash flow is king. Your cash flow is senior. As long as you are putting yourself in a position to create cash flow, meaning that once you have income coming in, once you deduct expenses, you have enough left. This is where a whole new financial game, a whole new financial process begins for you. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly said, yes, it was amazing. Yeah, I had an awesome time today. Man, that VIP workshop today was spectacular. So today I want to talk to you about the 5 keys to protecting your cash flow. The 5 keys to protecting your cash flow. So I want to give you these 5 keys for this week 3 check-in, and hopefully it can be a reminder to you, and maybe it will enlighten you about some things that you need to think about as you continue your 90-day challenge. Okay, so number 1, the first key to protecting your cash flow is you have to learn the money game. You have to learn the money game, okay? This is a key to protecting your cash flow. You got to learn the money game. Education has to be essential to you. Education has to become everything to you, all right? Why do I need to learn the money game? Well, because the more acquainted you become with money, the more money you're going to have. And the better you're going to treat your money, because your money habits or your level of playing the money game is really dependent upon your relationship with money, your understanding with money. And so one of the things that you have to think about when it comes to playing the money game is you have to think about learning to do the math on everything. That's one of the biggest points that I made today in my financial workshop. I was making that point over and over again to everyone who was attending, that you have to learn to do the math. You have to learn to do the math. This is why the first key to protecting your cash flow is learning the money game. And in order for you to learn the money game, I'm telling you, you have to have a different relationship with money. You have to have a different relationship with money. You have to learn to do the math. This is how you start building your relationship with money. So let me give you an example. If there's something that you want to do today, or if there's some project that you want to start pursuing, or it's some business opportunity you see, or it might just be somewhere you want to go next week, what you should do to exercise this habit of learning the money game is build a relationship with money, so that every time you make a decision to do something, you do the math on what you're going to do. Oh, I'm getting ready to go to the store. It could be something as simple as I'm going to the supermarket. Well, don't just make the decision to go to the supermarket. Make the decision on how much money you're going to spend. And you might even be able to get down to the granular details of what exactly you're going to buy when you're there. And see if you can stay within the parameters of that decision, just to get your mind used to doing math on decisions you make, as if you have a different relationship with money. So for me, I have a relationship with my wife. We've been married for 20 years. So when I get ready to go do something, I know my wife don't mind me doing it without talking to her about it, because she trusts that I'm going to do the right thing. But I'm just going to call her to run it by her anyway, even if it's just for me to know that she knows what I'm doing. I just want somebody else to know what I'm doing. So if it's just for that alone, I want to do it. Why? Because I know I am living a life, I am participating in a certain thing that I have a relationship with someone who gives me the ability and the freedom to communicate certain things with them. Well, it's the same way with money. If you're going to play this money game because you want to protect any kind of free money you get coming in, this thing called cash flow, you need to learn the money game, but you need to build a relationship with money. So stop treating your money like you don't have a relationship with it. Think about how many things we do with our money involved and we never even have a conversation with our money. And having a conversation with your money is, and I think this is going to be a good point for some of you, okay? Having a conversation with your money is really doing the math, okay? I want you to really take this in. Doing the math equals having a conversation with your money. Okay? So I really want you to take this in, and I want you to make this make sense to you. So when you do math, you're really having a conversation with your money. This is how you learn to play the money game. Because if you don't learn to play the money game, meaning that if you don't learn to do the math, if you don't learn to have a different conversation with your money, which if you're going to have a conversation with your money is not talking to you in A-E-I-O-U, right? Your money is not A-E-I-O-U, sometimes Y. Your money is not letters. Your money is metrics. Your money is numbers. Your money is decimals. This is your money. Your money is add, subtract, multiply, divide. This is how you talk to your money. I hope I'm making sense to you. So if you want to learn the money game, you have to learn to use these types of things and have a conversation with your money instead of just writing down words. I want to be a millionaire. You write that down or you say it. I want to be out of debt. I want to live better. I want to have something. Money don't understand that language. The language that money understands is the language of math. And here's another point I want to make. Math, all that number stuff, math is the universal language of success. I want you to think about that. Math is the universal language of success. So if you want to talk success talk, you talk that talk through this. You don't talk that talk through words. All right. So the first key to protecting your cash flow, assuming that you're learning how to create it, is you must learn the money game. Okay. Number two, this is the second key to protecting your cash flow. You need to learn how to maximize the tax system. You need to learn how to maximize the tax system. Now, in order for you to learn how to maximize the tax system, let me explain to you what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to learn how to use systems and platforms. This is how you're going to do it best. So like today in my financial workshop, I talked about creative tax strategies. And then I tied creative tax strategies to having a QuickBooks account and knowing how to use that QuickBooks account to integrate your tax strategies into. For example, if you have a QuickBooks account and there are certain things that you know you can use as business deductions and write-offs, every time there's a financial transaction with your business, that financial transaction shows up on QuickBooks. When it shows up on QuickBooks, it needs to be itemized or categorized to reflect what that transaction was about. And if you are understanding the tax system the way you should, most of those transactions will be business deductions and write-offs on the tax side, but they will be opportunities to build your business on your side. So you gotta understand this system, and you gotta learn how to maximize this system. Karen, she said, I struggle with maximizing the tax strategy as I am W-2 and 1099, owe too much money every year. Karen, one of the reasons why you probably owe too much money every year, of course, you have the W-2 and then you have the 1099, but you probably need to have a business, and you need to run more transactions through that business. Of course, if you're 1099, you can essentially operate the way a business operates, without having the protection of like a LLC. But that probably means that you're either not utilizing enough deductions, and you might not even know what other deductions that you have. So that would be something that you have to learn. Of course, I have a course on creative tax strategies, and I share a lot of different deductions with you. And it's a muscle that you have to build. It's something that you have to learn. I've just been blessed to really have a lot of great people like CPAs and tax strategists around me. Of course, I've had to pay them, that have taught me a lot and have given me some sense of direction on things that I was not necessarily clear on when it came to certain write-offs and certain deductions. But again, if you're struggling with maximizing that and you're paying too much in taxes, it's either because you're not writing enough things off, and it may also mean that you have to create. Yeah, you need to take that tax course. Of course, I agree 100%. And it may mean that you have to really build your business out in a more creative way to give you more leverage on what you can invest your money in. Because sometimes you can't avoid it, but a lot of times people are not really even avoiding it. They're just not paying enough attention to it because they don't know how to actually take business expenses and things that could elevate your business and increase your income and roll that over into your business deductions. Carrie says, I can't deduct my deductions because I barely get $200 back and I'm claiming zero. I also DoorDash occasionally and get a 1099, but not sure how to maximize that. Well, one way you can maximize that if you're getting a 1099 is you just start writing a lot of things off, and you just have to be more intentional. So that's what I was saying earlier. When you know enough about creative tax strategies, when you know enough about deductions and write-offs, and you have a QuickBooks account, it makes it easier so that when you are spending money, whether it's money from your personal account or money from your business account or both, it's easier for you to go back and track to see what all your transactions were, and if those transactions are transactions that are real business expenses or related to your business because they were being used to help further your business. And a lot of times when you're not tracking it that close, it's a lot of stuff you just missing, you're overlooking. I mean, it could be something as simple as you're in the store, you're in Publix, and you're buying some grocery. But while you're buying grocery, you need paper to print a contract. You need pens for your business. You need batteries for your camera or for something you're doing to record. And all of a sudden you spend $60, but 42 of those dollars were really for your business. It's something as simple as, okay, you pay for your personal items separate, and then you make another transaction so that this transaction can show up that I spent $42 on my business because these were things that my business needed, as opposed to, oh, I needed to buy it anyway. Well, that $42 gonna show up like 100 different times, and then it's like $40,000 that you could have written off. So it's an educational component, it's a training component, but maximizing the tax system is essential. And one of the easiest ways for you to do it is, number one, educate yourself on business deductions, write-offs. Get more familiar with what those financial activities are and which ones that you can use as write-offs and deductions, while simultaneously learning how to use financial systems like QuickBooks, so that when you are making money, you can make a better educated decision on, if I have some extra money, how can I use this extra money to help build my business, to make me more money while getting credit for business deductions and write-offs, okay? So that's number two, protect your cash flow. Because if you're giving all your cash flow away in taxes, you're not protecting it, correct? You ain't protecting it if you're giving it all away. So key number three is you have to learn how to understand leverage. This is something that you got to get good at in order to protect your cash flow. You have to understand leverage. And there are a lot of things that you can leverage. Well, number one, you can leverage banks. You can leverage credit card companies. You can leverage people and relationships. You can leverage products and services. You actually can leverage them. You can leverage, I'll put banks and credit card companies. You can leverage systems, processes, platforms. So you have to understand leverage. This is how you start protecting your cash flow, by understanding leverage. One of the reasons why most entrepreneurs that are just solopreneurs or just single small business owners, one of the reasons why most of them don't understand leverage is because they're trying to do everything by themselves. When the most important thing you need to be doing, and I'm going to say it every time I talk because I'm a proponent of it, the most important thing you need to be doing is educating yourself on how to use other things to get your business to grow. So there was a time I was doing everything by myself, but there was a time I thought I needed to do everything by myself. But the reason why I thought that and I did that was because I didn't have a certain level of knowledge. I did not know that if I figured out a way to create money, income, stabilize or maybe lower my expenses, create cash flow opportunities, I really didn't know, and I wasn't practicing that knowledge, that I could leverage banks and credit cards and people and relationships. Because there are a lot of things that I do today that I'm doing because of leverage. I'm leveraging. I'm not really having to do it by myself. I'm not having to do it with my own money because I got banks. I don't really use credit cards anymore. I'm debt free. So I don't really use them anymore because I really don't have to. I use people, relationships, products. That could be digital products. That could be products and services that don't require my day-to-day management or active participation. I'm leveraging systems and processes. So it takes a little time to learn this stuff. But once I learn it, now I'm able to deploy it. I'm leveraging platforms. It's just like now. You can watch me because we're on platforms. You can respond to me and give some feedback in the chat, and I can read your feedback and we can communicate Where 20 years ago, you might have had to fly to Atlanta, or I had to fly to where you was, or drive to and fro. But we have platforms that we can leverage. So for those of you that are creating new cash flow opportunities, especially if you're entrepreneurs, you have to start leaning in the direction of leverage. You got to leverage, because you're not going to grow and expand doing it all by yourself, or being limited and restricted in what you don't know, because it's keeping you from doing the things you could do if you knew how to do them. All right. So that's number 3. Number four, the way you protect your cash flow is you have to learn how to beat inflation. You got to beat inflation. Now, beating inflation is really about you finding vehicles. This is what beating inflation is about. Finding vehicles that move you and your money and your business fast enough so that you can start seeing a positive return. Because you're not going to stop inflation. So you can complain about eggs, you could complain about interest rates, you could complain about the price of rent is going up. It don't matter. It's going to keep, all this is going to keep going up. 20 years ago, it wasn't the price it was today. Fat Joe said it best. Yesterday's price are not today's price. That's what Fat Joe said. Yesterday's price are not today's price. And guess what? In any industry that you look and observe, yesterday's price were not today's price. So you can always keep looking back. Man, I wish the prices were this. Man, I wish houses was this. Man, I wish it was like it was in the 80s. It's never going to be like that. You're in 2023. So instead of trying to eliminate inflation, you just get creative on how you beat it, and you beat it by finding vehicles. So let me give you an example. If you're not making enough money, okay, let me just put it this way. If you are not making enough money to cover your basic expenses and to have some extra cash flow to invest in things that could expand your business and change the quality of your life. If you ain't making enough money to do that, then it may mean you're in the wrong vehicle. Okay? Your business is a vehicle. Your business is a vehicle. If your business is not making enough money, you need to take a step back and look at what type of business are you in? Are your products and services good enough for people to buy them? Do you need to own the products and services, or do you need to use the products and services? So beating inflation is not about you just trying to find the cheapest eggs to buy. That ain't beating inflation. Beating inflation is not about you trying to find the cheapest house to buy. I was just telling this to a young man yesterday who told me he was thinking about waiting to purchase a piece of real estate. I'm like, it don't matter. The real estate 10 years from now that you buy today is going to be worth more. So it don't matter if you wait, because it's going to keep going up. Real estate 10 years ago wasn't the price it is. It wasn't that price 20 years ago. Cars were not the same price. So it just doesn't matter. You don't need to be worried about inflation. You don't need to be concerning yourself with how much eggs cost and how much houses are and how much rent is. You're worried about the wrong thing. You need to beat that game. You don't want to play that game. That's not the game you want to play. The people who play in that game are thinking that they're going to pitch pennies and coupon their way to being a millionaire. It ain't happening. The way you beat inflation is you find a vehicle that moves fast enough. Okay? No, Alicia has a question. I have a LLC, but I didn't make any money last year. Do I still file taxes? Alicia, I'm not sure about that. I don't know, because I'm not a tax person, so I couldn't really honestly answer that question and know I'm 100% correct. That would be a question you need to ask a tax CPA, a tax expert. I would definitely find out from a CPA or someone who is certified. I'm not talking about some internet guru. I would definitely make sure I ask a tax person who knows what they're talking about if you need to file taxes for your business. I would not take the advice of anybody on the internet unless they know what they're talking about. And I'm not trusting you if you ain't, I'm not a tax person. I'm an entrepreneur. So even though I do a lot of teaching and education on creative tax strategies, remember, I'm an entrepreneur trying to figure out how to make more money, how to lower my tax bill. So I hire CPAs and tax strategists to show me how to do it. And I ask them questions, I learn from them, I pay to play with them, and I gather that information and I share it with my community. That's just one question that I don't know, so I can't really answer that. But I would just ask someone who is 100% sure about that, okay? So number 4 is beat inflation, but you want to find a vehicle. So all of you that are you're entrepreneurs, you have a business. If your business is not generating any revenue or enough revenue, you need to take a look at the vehicle you're in. Your business is a vehicle. Your products and services within your business can be vehicles. So you need to figure out, what vehicle do I need to be in if the vehicle that I'm in is not moving? Because if it's not helping me to move forward, inflation is continuing to go up. So I need to figure out how to get in front of inflation to beat it, but I got to do it by getting in the right vehicle. And so if your main vehicle is a job, if your main vehicle is a business, if it's a job, you need to figure out, do they have a sales department? Can I do some affiliate marketing? So you just need to find vehicles that actually make you more money. So those vehicles could be, those vehicles could be a job. Yes, they can. It could be MLM, multi-level marketing. It could be affiliate marketing. It could be a sales position. It could be a digital marketing opportunity that you have. It could be a product. Well, let me just say a business that you own. It could be a product or a service within that business that you have that can make money. If it's not a product or service that you own, maybe you need to look at using someone's products and services. But either way, you got to figure out how to get that thing moving so that you do not suffer. All right. And so last but not least, the fifth and final way to, which by the way, I want to get some feedback from y'all. I want to get some feedback from you. This is our 3rd week check-in for our 90-day challenge. And I want to get some feedback from you just to know, what are you taking away from today's check-in? Like, what is the one big thing that you're taking away from today's check-in? I want to know that. Let me know. What is that big takeaway that you say, okay, Ramon, I heard you. What you said makes a lot of sense. I got to go and put this to practice. I would love to know in the chat what your biggest takeaway is. Let me know what your biggest takeaway is. I would love to know. And while you're typing your takeaway, I want to remind all of you, if you're watching and you haven't signed up for our 90-day challenge, go to Ramonepreston.com/90. Ramonepreston.com/90. I want to make sure that you sign up for our 90-day challenge and get that access. Okay? So again, let's go through let's go through the 5 keys to protecting your cash flow. Number 1, we talked about learning the money game. Number 2, we talked about, get my notes here. Number 2, we talked about where we are, pushed out of my notes. Number 2, we talked about maximizing the tax system. Number 3, understanding leverage. Number 4, beating inflation. And number 5, my 5th key for protecting your cash flow is, where's my key at? I just missed it. I had it written down in my notes and I can't find it now. Okay, here it is. Overcome big business. Overcome big business. And big business is a representation. Big business is a representation of all of the societal norms. All of the societal norms. Carrie said, I need to educate myself on all avenues of making the most of my money and find new ways to have cash flow, as well as the 1099 business stuff. That's a great takeaway, Karen. Thank you so much, Carrie, for sharing that. So overcoming big business. What does it mean to overcome big business? Well, what it means is you are overcoming the pitfalls of societal norms. So society has a set of norms, things that people deem to be normal. Okay, think about it. Every month, there's a holiday. I mean, really think about that. Every month we have a holiday. I just want you to think about some of the society norms. So January, we got New Year's, we got MLK Day. February, in America at least, we got Valentine's Day. March, we got St. Patty's Day. Oh, February, we got Super Bowl. That's almost like a holiday. April, we got Easter. May, we got Mother's Day, graduation. June, we got Father's Day. July, we got 4th of July, Independence Day. August, we got back to school. September, we got Labor Day. October, we got Halloween. November, Thanksgiving. December, we got Christmas. Not to mention birthdays, anniversaries, just like big business. This thing here called big business, it's really not a big business. It's the business of societal norms. If what I'm saying makes sense to you, it's the big business of societal norms. So keeping you thinking normal and like everyone else in the world is a big business. Keeping you subjected to limitations is a big business. So you have to avoid big business, societal norms, and you can't allow yourself to accept them. So let me give you some examples of big business or societal norms. Here's one example. Well, I'm not even going to give you examples of societal norms. I'm going to give you examples of overcoming societal norms, because I don't even want to be that negative about it. So one example of overcoming big business or societal norms is not making sense of the middle class. That's one example of overcoming overcoming big business. One example is not making sense of the middle class. So if you make sense of middle class, then what you're saying is, I'm okay making $30,000 a year. I'll figure it out. Everything is going to work out. It ain't going to work out. because it's not enough. I had a VIP financial workshop today, right? So while we're going through certain sessions, we start doing math. We start doing calculations. So we have this whole workbook that we went through. And in certain parts, we have interactive exercises. So while we start going through some of the exercises and doing the math, like a couple people in the room, they start like gesturing like, oh my God. And they start responding. And what they were basically saying was, once we start doing the math, $100,000 a year just ain't enough because it doesn't make sense. So in order for you to overcome big business, overcome society norms, this is how you protect your money and keep growing. You cannot make sense of the middle class. And guess what? You have to believe that this planet is full of abundance. And if you have a problem believing these things, speaking these things, living these things every day, it's probably because you are listening to the wrong people. It's probably because you're not around people who are explaining to you that you cannot make sense of the middle class. That's not what you want to make sense of. If you're going to make sense of something, you need to make sense of being a millionaire. And you need to believe that this planet is full of abundance. There is no scarcity on this planet. There is no shortage of anything on this planet. There's plenty money on this planet. There are plenty opportunities. The possibilities and the potential for your success is endless. But if you're not hearing this on a day-to-day basis, if you're not getting in around people who are fueling you and feeding you, not just a lot of hype, okay? Because I'm not just giving you hype. I'm hyping you up now. I'm going to motivate you and inspire you, but I'm going to give you some practical tools on what you need to do to keep moving that money needle forward so you can take care of you and your family. So overcoming big business is about you not making sense of the middle class. Understanding that there's an abundance of resources on this planet. And really believing that if you have the right mindset and the right skill set, you can accomplish what you want to accomplish. I'm a living witness of that. Okay, I don't have a Harvard education. I've never been to college. I don't have connections to the who's who. Nobody co-signed me to help me get to the top. Nobody wrote a check or just gave me a bag to get started or gave me a lift. I had to scrap this thing out and figure it out. This is one of the reasons why I put my programs together the way I do, because I want to educate you. I want to show people that if you just give yourself the commitment to learn and to educate yourself about financial principles, about business principles, you give yourself a shot to actually make it. But if you're just stuck every year, and every once in a while you run across people like Ramonepreston, you hear them, you listen to them, you're like, wow, what he's saying makes sense, but you never really commit to it. You never really just give it your all because you put barriers up. Oh, I don't have enough money to pay for that. You don't have enough money not to pay for a course or program or to get in a community of people who can help you. And guess what? I mean, I would love for you to be a part of my business community, but you got to be a part of somebody's. You got to realize that you ain't going to be able to do it alone. And you should be leveraging the experience and the success that other people have. I do it. As much as I talk and teach and mentor and train and do all this stuff, I have people that I do this to. As a matter of fact, next week for 5 days, I'm going to be in another state, and I'll be sitting in classrooms, in sessions, deep diving, getting information, getting educated and trained from people that I want to be like, from people that I'm gravitating to, from people that I'm willing to pay to get in front of because they are showing me how I can become who I want to become when it comes to my success. So I want you to take this information today I want you to put it to practice. As you know, if there's anything that my team and I can do to help you, to assist you, you're always free to reach out to us. If you're already on the 90-day challenge and you know that there are other additional resources that you need, we have other courses, we have programs. I just made a big announcement this past week. This is how much I want to help people, that we are giving our community members access to our educational program and our mentorship program for as low as $99 a month. So we have an educational program for business and finance. It's called the Millionaire Blueprint. We are offering that program for $125 a month, and depending on the agreement, it can go as low as $99 a month. You can get access to programs, courses to teach you this that I'm sharing with you, and there are hundreds of other courses and lessons on finances, on business, on real estate investing, on starting and structuring a holding company, on creating your own LLCs, on systems and processes, and all of these principles that you have to have in order to get anywhere in your business and in your finances. We have a mentorship program, a 1-year coaching program that we are extending to our community for as low as $169 a month, which includes access to our Millionaire Blueprint, access to our weekly coaching calls, access to our quarterly workshops. Like, I take a lot of time and effort dumping this information on people with the hopes that somebody gets it and becomes a millionaire, to prove that what I'm saying works. It's working for me. It can work for you, but you got to get committed. I'm committed. I show up for me every day. I'm committed to my success every day. So again, I want you to reach out to us. If you need more information, you can either text millionaire. That's if you want access to one of our programs and you want to know more information about it. You can text millionaire, or you can just call me right here at 404-478-7213. I'm super duper excited because I know 21 days into this new year, we have a whole year ahead, and we have so much potential, so many possibilities. And the more I learn, the more I grow, the more I'm going to show up and the more I'm going to give, because I want you not standing behind me. I want you standing with me at the top of that mountain. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube page. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. All of those platforms, you can find me at Ramonepreston, And again, if you haven't signed up for our 90-day challenge, go to Ramonepreston.com/90. And if you have and you need additional resources, you need access to those courses, you may need some mentorship from me. I want you to text the word millionaire to this number. We can get you signed up and onboarded, and we can get you going. So I appreciate all of you. Alicia, let's see here. Carrie said, I need to educate myself on all avenues of making the most of my money and find new ways to have cash flow. That's right. Carrie said, for real, and family, birthdays. That's right. Yeah. About those big business activities. Let's see. Alicia said, I'm so glad I stepped back to learn about how to run a business before I really launched it out. The more I learn, the more successful I will be. I don't have a formal education. I dropped out of school at a very, very young age. Y'all probably have heard my story 1,000 times. I was a drug addict. I was a criminal. I was a thug. I was a street hustler all of my teenage life. I didn't get cleaned up till 2 months shy of my 21st birthday. Okay, I'm 46 years old. And at 21, I'm just starting my new life. I'm clean. I'm sober for the first time. I'm not going to jail. I'm not committing crimes. I'm trying to be a productive citizen. I only had a GED. And thanks to the gifting of God, I realized that I could learn and I could educate myself. I could read and study. I could try things and experiment with things, and I could make things happen. And this was 25 years ago, y'all. Like 25 years ago, I couldn't even get a job making more than $8 an hour. But I made the commitment that I was going to educate myself. And I was going to self-educate. I couldn't afford college. I couldn't afford going to a community college. I couldn't afford nothing, man. But I scrapped it out and I figured it out. And I made a promise to God. I made a promise to myself. I made a promise to my family that once I saw the success that I needed to at least breathe on my own, that I was going to create a platform to give people an opportunity to learn the things that I learned, because at the time, 25 years ago when I got clean, but really 22, 23 years ago when I started moving towards entrepreneurship, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have coaches and mentorship programs. We might have had a few, maybe one or two or three gurus that might have been on TV with infomercials, but they were far in between, and you couldn't afford their courses and programs. And that's where Ramonepreston University was birthed, out of just a desire to figure it out myself, because there was so many years of my life I didn't even think I could be financially free. There were so many times in my life that I think I gave up on it, that I was like, you know what, maybe it's not for me. Maybe having money is not for me. Maybe it's for the rest of the world or other people. Maybe it's special people. I thought it was like special people in this world, that it's just something about them that they got it. They were born with the thing. And I had to get to a point to where my education started. And when I say education, I'm talking about I probably read 1,000 books. And I've studied so much in the last 20 plus years. That's all I've done. And I still do it every day. And you got to remember now, I'm a minister and I'm a business owner. So I've learned ministry at the same time I'm learning business, preaching the gospel, and like, it's crazy. I've dedicated my life to it. I'm just saying that not to flex, but just to let you know that your education is everything. You just cannot, 90% of the world will not do, well, let me say it this way. 99% of the world will not do what maybe that 1% of the world does, because they might be unicorns. They may be anomalies. You can't follow that. You got to look at, wow, why is 99% of the world struggling? Why is 99% of the world broke? Why do most people on this planet have nothing? You know why? Because most people ain't getting the right information. They're not getting the right education. They're not putting themselves in communities and ecosystems that push them out of their comfort zone, that force them to become another version of themselves. Because I promise you, if you or when you become successful financially, you will not be the person you are today. You will not be that. There's another version of you. And what I'm doing for a lot of people is I'm giving you the information and the tools to show you, if you can just get it, at some point, something is going to snap and click, and you're going to switch, and you're going to be a different you, and it's going to be on and popping. That's what happened to me. And so I'm grateful that I can be in a position to share this information. So again, if you don't have access to the courses and the programs that we have available, don't let money stop you. Money don't stop you from doing nothing else. Text the word millionaire to 404-478-7213. Let's see here. Carnell, what's up, my man? Carnell says, I missed it, but I'm going to rewatch it when it goes off the live. He says, I got to go catch this again. Yeah, man, we spitting game out here today. He says, I'm on track and I had some misfortunes that weren't planned, but I'm starting close as possibly as I can. Staying close. Good. This is so helpful. Thank you, Karen. Danielle, thank you. Carrie, thank you. J.K. Forbes, my man, he says, you are a great example, Mr. Preston. You just taught a financial workshop for several hours, and now you are doing the 90-day challenge. Oh, my God. You have a lot of knowledge, but I am taking notice of your work ethic. Come on, man. Come on, man. I'm just getting started. I tell my team all the time, I ain't even put my shoes on yet. I'm just rolling up my socks, man. I got so much life in front of me, and we do, all of us do. And I want us to be adequately prepared with the tools, with the info, with the strategies that we need. So I love all of you. I appreciate all of you. If there's anything my team and I can do to help assist you in your process, I want you to be one of those 22 new millionaires, 22 million new millionaires that are going to be created in the next 3 years. I want you to be one of those. I want you to be one of those so bad. I just told one of my mentees that last week because I was helping them with some strategies and showing them how to do certain things. And they were like, yeah, but what are you going to get out of this? And I'm like, oh, I'm going to get mine now. I'm going to get some credit for what your success does. So I was like, I'm good just taking some credit for what you're going to go accomplish. I don't need to be paid on the front end for that. I'm going to get mine. So I love all of you. I appreciate all of you. Have an amazing Saturday. Remember to subscribe, follow me on social media platforms, and I'll be back here Monday, but it will be 12 o'clock noon for the Ramonepreston Show. And I'll be out of town. I'll be in Miami all next week, but I'm going to do my best to try to figure out how I can go live so we can do our check-in next week. So appreciate all of you. Love all of you. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you all